Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to this cozy little corner where stories come alive and where every life, no matter the age, carries wisdom worth sharing. Today, I invite you to sit with me for a moment, not just to hear a story, but to feel it. It's the journey of John Harrison, a man who has walked through 5 decades of triumphs, missteps, and quiet revelations. His path wasn't perfect, but each step carried a lesson worth remembering. This isn't just about money, it's about meaning. It's about wealth beyond numbers and wisdom earned the hard way. What you're about to hear is more than a story. It's a reflection called Life Lessons from 50 Years, a journey to wealth and wisdom. This is John's story. And if his story touches your heart, leave a number 1 in the comments below as a sign of shared feeling. And don't forget to share this story with the people you love, because maybe, just maybe, it's exactly what they need to hear right now. In a small sunlit room in suburban Ohio, John Harrison sat at his worn oak desk, the kind that bore the scratches of decades of dreams, failures, and triumphs. At 72, with silver streaks in his hair and a warm, weathered smile, John was no stranger to life's highs and lows. Born to a factory worker and a school teacher in a working-class neighborhood, he'd clawed his way from a childhood of hand-me-downs to a 7-figure net worth. But the money, he'd tell you, was the least of his victories. What mattered more was the wisdom he'd gathered over half a century, lessons he now felt compelled to share with anyone willing to listen. This is the story of John's journey, told through the lens of a man who learned, often the hard way, what truly matters in life. Lesson 1: Your income isn't your outcome. John grew up in a neighborhood where paychecks vanished faster than summer rain. His father worked overtime at the steel mill, yet the family always seemed one bill away from disaster. As a young man, John thought the answer was simple: make more money. He chased high-paying jobs, from construction to sales, believing a bigger paycheck would solve everything. But he noticed something puzzling. Friends earning 6 figures were often broke, trapped in cycles of overspending, while others, like his frugal neighbor Mrs. Thompson, who lived on a teacher's salary, always had savings tucked away. It hit John like a thunderbolt in his 30s. Income has little to do with outcomes. Wealth isn't about what you earn, it's about what you keep. He'd seen too many people burn through fortunes on flashy cars, designer clothes, or impulsive vacations. Money, John would say, is like water. It flows through your hands, and if you don't hold it wisely, it's gone. He learned to manage every dollar with intention, cutting unnecessary expenses and investing in his future. Over time, he built a nest egg not just for himself, but for his children, hoping to leave them a legacy of financial freedom. The lesson was clear: mismanage anything, money, time, relationships, and you'll lose it. Good stewardship, John realized, was the foundation of a rich life. Lesson 2: Everyone has a gift. John wasn't always confident. As a kid, he envied classmates who excelled at sports or music, feeling ordinary in comparison. He wasn't a star athlete or a prodigy, but in his 20s, he discovered his gift: connecting with people. Whether it was calming an angry customer or inspiring a struggling coworker, John had a knack for making others feel seen and valued. It wasn't until he leaned into this talent, becoming a mentor and later a motivational speaker, that his life transformed. He came to believe that everyone is born with a unique purpose, a gift meant to serve the world. For some, it's painting or coding. For others, it's teaching or caregiving. John's gift wasn't flashy, but it was profound. When he used it to uplift others, he found not just success, but joy. Your wealth, he'd tell audiences, hides in your purpose. Find it, share it, and watch your life light up. He saw how living in alignment with his gift gave him confidence, changed how he carried himself, and opened doors he never imagined. John's message was simple. Your gift isn't just for you, it's for the world, and delivering it is where true fulfillment lies. Lesson 3. Wealth isn't just money. In his 40s, John hit a milestone. His net worth crossed $1 million. Friends congratulated him, but he felt oddly hollow. He had money, yes, but his marriage was strained, and he barely saw his kids. That's when he realized wealth isn't just a bank balance. True wealth, John learned, is measured in love, time, health, and wisdom. He thought of his grandmother, who had little money but a home full of laughter, where neighbors gathered for her Sunday potlucks. She was rich in ways no dollar could quantify. John began redefining wealth. He invested in his family, carving out evenings for board games with his kids. He prioritized his health, trading late-night TV for morning walks. He sought wisdom, reading books, and learning from mentors. Money, he realized, was a tool, useful, but not everything. You don't need a fortune to live a full life, he'd say, his voice thick with conviction. Be rich in generosity, in moments, in love. That's what lasts. Lesson 4. Deliver value. Win big. John's financial breakthrough came when he started a small business coaching local entrepreneurs. At first, he helped a handful of clients, earning a modest income. But as he scaled his impact, creating online courses and speaking at conferences, his income soared. The secret, he discovered, was simple. Deliver massive value to as many people as possible. Help 100 people and you'll make a living, he'd say. Help 1 million and you'll build a legacy. He saw this principle everywhere. A baker who expanded her shop to serve thousands. A teacher who shared lessons online to millions. Their success came from amplifying their impact. John urged others to think big. Take your gift, your skill, your passion, and share it with the world, he'd say. The more people you serve, the more wealth, in every sense, you'll create. For John, this wasn't just about money. It was about leaving a mark, knowing his work had changed lives. Lesson 5. Time is your most precious asset. John's father died at 58, a loss that shook him to his core. He realized time isn't guaranteed. It's a gift that slips away faster with age. In his 20s, John squandered hours on trivial pursuits. But as he grew older, he felt time's weight. The clock ticks louder when you hit 50, he'd say with a wry smile. He learned to guard his time fiercely, saying no to distractions and yes to what mattered. Family, growth, purpose. He'd tell stories of regret. Friends who wished they'd traveled more, loved harder, or chased their dreams. We never know how long we've got, John would say, his eyes misty. So use your time like it's gold. Be intentional, live now. He encouraged others to audit their days, cutting out mindless scrolling or toxic relationships. For John, time well spent was the ultimate wealth. Lesson 6. People are hard, but worth it. If there was one thing John found tougher than building wealth, it was dealing with people. As a landlord in his 50s, he faced heart-wrenching moments, like telling a struggling tenant they had to move. "Fixing a leaky pipe is easy," he'd say, "but looking a single mom in the eye and talking about eviction, that's soul-crushing." Yet he learned that navigating human relationships with kindness, patience, and firmness was a skill that unlocked doors. John believed loving others was life's hardest but most vital task. "It's why managers get paid more," he'd joke. "They deal with the people." He practiced empathy, listening to tenants' stories, and finding solutions when he could. This skill spilled into every area of his life, from mentoring employees to rebuilding ties with his estranged brother. "Master people, and you master life," he'd say, his voice steady with hard-earned wisdom. Lesson 7. Everyone has struggles. John's childhood wasn't easy. Raised in a neighborhood where sirens were lullabies, he envied kids from better families. But as he met people from all walks, billionaires, baristas, single parents, he saw a universal truth: everyone struggles. "Rich or poor, we all carry burdens," he'd say. "Some face poverty, others addiction or heartbreak. No one's life is perfect." This realization freed John from self-pity. He stopped comparing his start to others and focused on his journey. "Life's a race, and we all start at different spots," he'd say. "What matters is how you run." He encouraged others to embrace their challenges as part of their story, not the whole book. "You're not alone in your struggles," he'd remind them. "Keep going. You're stronger than you know." Lesson 8. Own your race. In his 30s, John wasted energy blaming others: his parents for their poverty, his bosses for low wages, the economy for his struggles. It left him bitter and stuck. Then a mentor's words changed everything. "You can't control the world, but you can control you." John embraced personal responsibility, owning his choices and their outcomes. It was liberating. "Blaming others is a losing game," he'd say, his voice firm. "It's like handing over your power." He taught others to focus on what they could control: their effort, attitude, decisions. "Life's not fair, but it's yours to shape," he'd add. John's superpower was accountability, and he urged others to claim it too. "Run your race," he'd say. "No excuses, just results." Lesson 9. Don't envy, celebrate. Social media once tripped John up. Seeing friends' vacations or colleagues' promotions sparked envy. But he learned their highlight reels hid pain, divorces, debts, insecurities. "You don't know the story behind their glory," he'd say. Instead of comparing, he chose to cheer others on. "When someone wins, it's a win for all of us," he believed. "There's enough success to go around." John adopted an abundant mindset, trusting there was room for everyone to shine. He'd share others' victories, from a neighbor's new business to a friend's book deal. "Lift others up, and you rise too," he'd say, his smile infectious. It was a lesson in humility and hope, one that made his own successes sweeter. Lesson 10. Not everyone will cheer for you. Perhaps the hardest lesson came in John's 50s, when success strained relationships. As his business grew, some friends grew distant. A cousin he'd known since childhood stopped calling. "I thought they'd be proud," John admitted, his voice tinged with hurt. "But my growth showed who they really were." He learned that success exposes intentions. Some celebrate, others resent. John didn't dwell on the loss. "People come and go," he'd say. "Focus on those who stay." He surrounded himself with supporters, letting go of those who wished him ill. Your journey's too important for naysayers, he'd tell others. It was a painful but freeing truth. Not everyone will root for you, and that's okay. John Harrison's story isn't just the journey of one man. It's a guiding light for anyone who has ever felt lost in a world that moves too fast and asks too much. It's not a tale of perfection, but of courage. The courage to face failure, to rise from heartbreak, and to live a life that truly matters. For 50 years, John didn't just accumulate wealth, he collected experience. His lessons weren't found in textbooks. They were carved into his heart by trials, sleepless nights, and moments when he thought he had nothing left. But in the ashes of every mistake, he uncovered something greater: purpose. And you don't have to wait 50 years to learn what John did. You can begin now. Take a breath, listen to yourself. Discover the gift life has quietly placed within you. Whether it's the ability to heal, a quiet talent, or simply a heart that knows how to care, don't keep it hidden. Share it boldly. Share it with love and intention. Learn to respect your money, not out of greed, but for the freedom it gives. Learn to manage your time, not to do more, but to live deeper. And choose your relationships wisely. Hold close the ones who lift you up, and release those who weigh you down. Life doesn't wait. Dreams don't just arrive. And that perfect moment you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. Today is the day you start chasing your dream. Today is the day you love, fiercely and without fear. Today is the day you live, fully, deeply, without regret. Everything you need is already inside you. You're not lacking, you are ready, and you are worthy. John would look at you with eyes full of warmth, eyes that have seen storms and still choose to believe in the good. He believes in you as fiercely as he once learned to believe in himself. Thank you for taking the time to listen and walk alongside us. We hope today's story touched a quiet corner of your heart. Hold on to that feeling. And if you found even a spark of inspiration, we invite you to stay with us for the next stories to come. Each journey we share carries a message, a ray of hope, and perhaps it's exactly what you or someone you love needs right now. We'll see you again in the next story, where together we continue to share, to heal, and to move forward with hearts full of courage and hope.